I thought I clicked it, but I think we have now.
You didn't click it, Lozzie.
I did. I clicked, but nothing happened. Hopefully you can all hear us. The red light is on. That means we think you can hear us. Let us know. How you doing, guys? It's been a while since we had a live on a Sunday.
It's been ages.
It's been about a month.
It was like before Scotland, and that feels like such a long time ago.
Does.
I don't know if it's because we've been around so much.
I'm just going to quickly check that we are working.
Okay, Loz will check that we're working, that we're live. But yeah, it's been a while, and loads has happened. So we sort of marketed, I guess, in our last video, this is the Strongest Man on Earth special. We expect a lot of the questions will be around that. So
obviously
we'll talk
you can all talk about anything you like.
Yeah.
How are we all doing? How are you guys? I'm just checking my phone. That's why I'm looking down, just to see that you guys can hear us okay, because we had a little bit of an issue just because we've got a new mic, haven't we?
We have got a new mic.
And it's been a while since we've done this.
Yeah, it has been a while.
How are you all doing? I hope everyone is well.
Said you were a great commentator.
Thank you very much, Michael. It was fun to work on the commentary team for Strongest Man on Earth. It was a really good weekend. We'll go deep into questions. I'm sure people are going to ask lots of questions about that competition.
Yeah, it's nice to see it in person, wasn't it?
It was really good, and it was really great to meet so many people there. So many enthusiastic fans turning up to that show, which is just really cool.
Yeah, it was really nice. Hip Flip and Mama is in the house. So much to discuss. There really is. Ryan, hoping you'll be able to catch this one. Dalton, what an amazing show. Loz and Liz, sorry again if I interrupted your recording at the hotel gate on Friday. Excitement got the best of me.
No worries.
Was it Dalton who was wearing the tiny Mitch shorts?
I'm not sure.
Was that you, Dalton?
We met so many people.
I know the names and I know the faces, but I sometimes get the names and faces mixed up. I'm sure it was you, Dalton. Yeah, you're absolutely fine, honestly. So it just makes the video a bit more organic if someone's in the background going, yes!
Yeah.
Cybernetic strongman in the house.
I was going to say Dalton's next message as well.
Hopefully now you can see why I said the crowd at the Arnold's was a bit underwhelming compared to Strongest Man on Earth. Also, mad props to Josh Spurgeon. It was definitely a team last weekend.
Josh, I am so proud of Josh. He's been working with me for a couple of years now, and he's just got better and better. He competed at the Shaw Classic last year. He was 13th.
Yeah,
13th?
Yeah, he was 13th.
And we sat down afterwards and, had a long discussion about where he needed to make progress. And every comp that he's done, you've just seen that progress. So to see him take the win. I know Josh is going to be world class. Like, I've always believed that from the moment we started working together. But to see the progress is really cool.
Yeah.
And he's doing well. He's got a whole year to train for Schmo next year, and he's got OSG coming up as well. So we really want to do
Worlds as well next year.
The goal is top 3 at OSG. If he gets top 3 at OSG, he'll get an invite to Giants Live and potentially an invite to World's Strongest Man. So look out for that man's name. I hope if he's watching, he doesn't take too much pressure. But we're going to be working hard, and it's funny. Just quickly, just because I'm going to go off on a rant like I normally do. Not a rant, a tangent.
Oh, same thing. You're gone.
A lot of people, when they want coaching, they think they need to do these advanced things. What you need to do is get really, really good at the basics. If you get really, really good at the basics, you can be very, very good at everything else. Some people try and specialize in too many things, and you just end up holding yourself back. What we've done with Josh is focus on the absolute basics and get him fitter and faster. That was the clear weakness for him. And if you look at him now,
powerlifter before, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And
so we've
shows.
really not focused on his squat at all, because it's not so important for strongman. Really focused on his deadlift, which is world class. He will hold on. His deadlift, he's going to get points in any lineup. Overhead is something we're still working on, but has made huge progress. But it's the athletic side of things, the moving,
the events.
Yeah, that's where we've kind of worked hard on. We haven't done anything drastic. We've just worked hard.
Yeah.
And he's made so much good progress, and I expect him to keep making good progress. But I just thought I'd chuck that out there, because you get a lot of people at the end of the season, they're like, I need to do like lots of this and lots of this because I was weak at it in a comp. And if you just get good at the basics, that will get better.
Yeah. I'll click on Stephen just because I don't want to tease him. Loz and Liz are back. Thank you for the coverage of the Strongest Man on Earth. Such a shame that people are focusing on the mistakes rather than all the improvements this show is making for the sport. I think such is the nature. And it's because everyone wants the same thing, don't they? And, expectations were incredibly high. This is, I think, the competition a lot of people were saying they were looking forward to the most. And I guess maybe they expected some close to perfection. And
yeah, and I think there's a lot of pressure on Brian to sort of deliver that perfection. And you've got to remember, Brian is human. Mistakes can be made. He's made mistakes in comps before. He made a mistake as a promoter. Every single promotion out there has made mistakes. What's good about Brian is he'll learn from it. And I should say the same for a lot of the other promoters as well. We were all talking crap about the Rogue after the end of last year's comp. No, everyone. I say we as a selective kind of group of
community
fans.
Of strong,
you know, everyone was kind of saying, "Oh, this was bad" or "That was bad," but now we've forgotten about that, and we're all looking forward to the next one. And the promoters will take on board what we say. I don't mean just what you and me say, what all of us say, and aim to do better. And that is what we want. We want the sport to grow and get better. I think the fact that we have people talking about things just shows that there's a lot more interest in strongman than there used to be. So it's not a bad thing. I'm someone that likes to focus on the positive. I don't neglect the negatives. You know, we have to address them, but it's good to focus on the
Sometimes
positives.
It's like beating a dead horse, though. Like, no one will lose more sleep over like that mistake with that axles than Brian. You know?
I think that was, in the grand scheme of things, a small mistake. It was obviously he was really beating himself up.
Oh yeah, he was gutted.
You know, he sorted it out straight away. He did what has happened in many comps before when there's a mistake made. He allowed the athletes to go again at the end of the event. Some decided to do that. Some decided not to do that. You know, would it have made a difference to the only person I think that probably would have done better would have been Pavlo. Pavlo probably could have done better on that event.
Pavlo could have,
because he actually lifted the axle.
He did.
Austin,
Loz, did your athletes miss having you available to pick deadlift attempts with them?
No, my athletes are smart and know the numbers that they should be picking. And I say that with great confidence. Me and Mitch had a long chat about this the other day. I think, I mean, a deadlift is an event where a coach can be useful, especially if for an athlete that doesn't want to think about anything. But if you are at that level of competition and you can't handle yourself backstage, you're in the wrong sport. If you need someone to tell you what to do every single step of the way, you're in the wrong sport. I spoke to Mitch and Bobby beforehand. Mitch is very much like me. He doesn't want someone faffing around and kind of doing too much. Bobby has great friends around him that help look after him. And both of them are smart enough to know what numbers to pick. And you know, if they have anything they're really not sure of, they know they can kind of message me or we'll chat backstage. But I don't think there's a huge amount you can do as a coach when you are at a competition. Yes, there's little things, but if you're a smart athlete, you've got to be able to make a decision for yourself. You've got to take responsibility sometimes for yourself, you know, and make
no one knows their own body more than them, do they?
Absolutely. So. And, you know, when I coach people, we talk a lot when we're coaching. We'll kind of have back and forth. We'll talk about tactics sometimes, depending on the level of the athlete. I don't like talking about tactics for a novice competition for a beginner, because really you should just be going there to do your best and learn. But a higher level athlete, we will talk about tactics, but tactics are going to vary based off what happens through a competition. So you've got to be smart and, you know,
change your game plan maybe.
Yeah. So if you can't think for yourself as an athlete, then I think you're holding yourself back.
This question from Michael I thought was quite nice. Can you please both share some of the most positive things you experienced at the Strongest Man on Earth? By the way, it was great to finally meet you. Thank you so much for being there. It's important you're a part of it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael.
I don't know about for you, Lizzie, but for me, meeting the fans was awesome. I love meeting the American fans are just different. You guys are so enthusiastic, which I absolutely love. You know, it was really cool. You made us feel very welcome. So thank you so much for that. That was really cool. The organization behind the scenes, so like just you know, being picked up from the airports was, although we did nearly go in the wrong taxi.
Guys, it was
we should probably point out.
Funny. Kerry messaged to say your driver is there. If you go out of this door,
he's got a green tie.
He's got a green tie, black van.
Yeah.
Saw a man straight away, green tie, black van, waving, and he says, "Sure," and we're like, "Sure Classic, yes," and he's like, "Yes." We get in. I'm like, this is a very plush.
It was
car.
very fancy.
Brian is really pushing the boat out for us. How nice. Start driving off. And this man goes,
"We're going to pick up your cat."
we're going to pick up the cat. And I was like, I beg your pardon, what cat? And we very quickly realised that wasn't our car.
Yeah.
We had a very nice van, I should point out, and we still had snacks and drinks and everything. But
we almost ended up going to take hostage of someone's cat.
He was like, you are JP Shaw? And we're like, no, we're
going
to the Shaw Classic.
So we almost got in the wrong place. But we got picked up. Lovely hotel. All the equipment was really good.
I think one of the positives, and this really speaks to Brian's experience, is one, the team he's put together, I think, is so nice to see so many figures in the sport working together in different capacities. And then also the fact that he has taken the best bits of each promotion and sort of brought them into one place, because Brian's so experienced. He knows what works well. He knows what doesn't work well. He knows what probably annoys him as an athlete having to do. And he's just taken, I think, all the best parts and sort of mushed them together.
I really liked the day before doing the
panel.
Yeah. With the athletes and then the sort of legends afterwards. That was quite cool. Just I think for diehard fans, things like that are fun.
Yeah, definitely. It was nice that it was live streamed as well.
Yes, exactly. It should be. That kind of stuff should be live streamed for people to watch and just build up the anticipation.
The hype. I think the hype leading up to it was really good as well.
You enjoyed doing the round table things with Jerry and Terry and Brian?
Yeah. Hello, Fred. Glad you could join us this evening. Ricky.
How are we doing, Fred? Thank you so much for the super chat, Ricky. Very, very kind. I've already looked at it. Yeah.
What is it this time?
I looked at it earlier. It's just a fun face.
A fun face? Yeah. There you go.
There we go. It's a little animated.
I
don't know if it's
a little. It
says
you're amazing. Or... It's very sweet. Thank you, cool. Ricky.
Thank you very much.
Monica's here. Hi, Monica. Mark is here.
We saw Monica. How you doing, Monica?
Okay.
Didn't have much chance to talk to her.
Broken her ribs. No, we saw Monica briefly, but that was about it. On her way in, I think she was.
Yeah.
Cousin Fred, thank you so much for gifting memberships.
Thank you, buddy. Hope you're well.
Some sort of meeting.
Yeah, so in a parking lot. What's going on?
Sounds a bit iffy.
Dare we ask?
Don't be offended if we don't turn up. Strongest man on earth is a great comp. Yes, I wish there was more graphics on screen for the live stream. I think that's one thing that needs to be added, and I don't think it would be that difficult for
I haven't
whichever
seen
company.
The live stream, so
I paid for it.
You paid for it.
I did.
Of course you did.
I paid for the back. Well, it goes towards the athletes.
It does indeed.
And I wanted to watch it because I didn't really see a lot of stuff either because I was focusing on the guys out back. So I wanted.
So I've not watched it. So how did it come across?
Oh, brilliant. I think the stream quality, the cameras, everything was really nice, but it was missing the graphics.
Okay.
For things like, we had the AI and everything, but we didn't have a lot of updates in points.
We had the AI to use in the commentary, and it was fun to use, but I don't think it's all that kind of...
No, do you know what, though? At one point, this guy cornered me and he was like, Liz, can you tell Loz it's the AI isn't to... for their predicted weight, it's measuring the velocity or the power that they're putting through the deadlift. And I was like, I have no way to get this information to Loz.
But it was coming. It was also coming up with a predicted max.
It was,
as well, which, for some of the guys, was a lot more realistic. Whereas, I think Thomas Evans on his second lift, it was predicting he'd pull well over 1,000, and he didn't pull 900.
I think they were a sponsor for
the
competition.
And it's great. It's great to kind of have these kind of things. And I think in the gym they're fun. And it was good. It gives us talking points. And it's interesting to see. The problem is with something like that, it doesn't take into account the different styles of lifting. No,
of course, nothing's ever going to be perfect. But I did quite like it, and I thought, and they only used it on the replays rather than the actual live lifting.
It was fun, and I said, it gave us talking points for between lifts,
definitely.
Especially on a deadlift or max, where it's a little bit of a slower event.
You might eventually run out of things to say about just multiple deadlifts.
Absolutely.
But Wells used to do little things like that, put on
they did the heart rate monitors.
Yeah, the heart rate monitors,
which usually showed that we were dead,
dying. Yeah, I think they quickly ditched that. Any news on Rogue Invitational events? Maybe Coach can give us some hints.
I think if you go onto the Rogue page, there's some hints on there already.
Yeah,
there are some hints.
I suspect they're going to be announced very, very soon.
Yes, the athletes have been told the events yesterday, I believe. I can't say what they are until Rogue give me the okay to say what they are. But some interesting events. I think there's some fun events in there. And as soon as we can give you events, we will do.
what we'll do, we'll film a video tomorrow. So as soon as they're announced, we're ready to go and we can all dive in and have that discussion. How exciting.
Indeed.
Where are we? Afraid I will see you tonight. What is going on?
She doesn't want to be hugged too tight though, because her
got broken ribs.
Be gentle with her, Fred.
Or do I click on this one?
Yeah, go for it. Like
Thoughts on Shaw's disappointment with not being thanked enough. I think it's very hard without knowing the exact context of how that's gone. It's difficult to comment. So, for example, if I messaged Loz and said, hey, Loz, your prize money is $10,000, and he left me on red, I might think, bit of a prick. Because, if it was me and someone messaged me that, I'd say, that's great, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Thanks. If it was a group email or something else, I don't know. I think without really knowing the context of it, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't know the ins and outs of any private conversations.
No. So it's hard to comment.
I did see Mitch commented on his video. Thanking him. I don't know.
Don't know who, don't know.
Yeah, I like
the circumstances of it, or
I don't think an athlete needs to thank promoters as such. They're working together. Promoters should do well out of a competition. Athletes should do well out of a competition, I believe. You're all in it together, if you like.
Yeah.
But it's a private conversation between people. So without knowing the ins and outs, I don't know what's being said.
It's hard to comment.
And there's 16 athletes, so maybe Brian might be talking about two. I genuinely don't know. We've had conversations with Brian and Kerry, and it was great that we really appreciate them having us over there. Yeah, hopefully we provided some good quality and added something to the show, and everyone's a winner. Loz, thoughts on Para Dwyer's comments on the reffing? I haven't seen Par's comments. Have you?
I haven't. I'm very behind on videos because we are so jet lagged, and it's really started to catch up with us these last couple of days, hasn't it? We sort of powered through while we were in Colorado, but coming back, it's really hit us hard.
Yeah, I've had a blocked ear as well, which I've had about 3 treatments to try and sort out. I've got one more treatment on Thursday, and hopefully then I will be all good.
It happened in Turkey, didn't it? Swimming or going down slides or something.
An appointment just before going out to the Shore Classic to try and get it sorted, because trying to do commentating with a headpiece and your ear blocked isn't great. It's kind of, I can hear a lot better than I could, but it's still not 100% yet.
Yeah, oh my, good to catch you live. I'm on disability, so I can't make a donation, but love you too. We never
Thank you so much. Look, if you guys can subscribe and like, then that's brilliant. If you can do more, then massively appreciate it. But what you guys do is amazing.
Yeah. I hope it was well. Or is it too heavy, or is it enough to weed out the strongest?
It's hard. I won't say it's too heavy. I think some events maybe, they're challenging, really challenging, but too heavy, maybe like 1 or 2 events could be altered. I think clearly Brian wants it to be heavy and hard. That's kind of what he's looking at. He wants it to be the hardest competition in the world. And I think regardless of weight, it is the hardest competition in the world. Yeah. Because it's 8 brutal events over 2 days, 4 events a day. A lot of competitions are just 5 events one day. So
at altitude as well.
At altitude, yeah. It's deep into the season as well. It's not like the first comp of the year where they've had lots of rest. A lot of these guys are competing in other shows. So there's a lot of, battered bodies coming into it. And by the end, you could see how much they were struggling. I mean, Ivers was talking about making the power stairs heavier before the last event. He couldn't even kind of, finish it, or he was struggling big time. And Ivers is great at that type of event.
It's
so
one of his best.
If you've ever competed in a competition, you go deep into a comp, you may be good at things, but you start to struggle. Now, imagine a full day of comp. You then got to kind of get yourself up for another full day of competition with the hardest events you've ever done, or the heaviest events you've ever done. It's tough. It really is. And every single one of those athletes was feeling it. Even Mitch Hooper was feeling it. And he is probably the fittest athlete out there. He said, it's the toughest comp he's ever done. And normally he's fresh as a daisy the next day. He wasn't this time.
Sometimes trains the next day, doesn't he?
He did train a few days later.
I know, yeah.
We decided on some light log 160 for 160 for multiple singles. He did a multiple singles at 160, and he's like, I just want to try 190. The goal is 200 next week, but I'm sure he'll do it. He's fresh.
We need to work on Lucas Hatton's nickname. Large legs just isn't cutting it.
Lucas was awesome.
Is Lucas happy with this nickname? Because if he is, I don't feel any of us are in a position to say anything. If he's not, then I'm sure as a community we can come up with something much better.
He does have some big old legs.
He does. Yeah.
I like Lucas. I like watching him. He's fun to watch.
Yeah. He's I think you can just see the emotions in his face, like even during the event, you know, how bad he wants it. He's an easy person to get behind, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Ah, dear. Where are we? Why isn't Mateusz and Trey invited to Rogue? Says Polish. Oh gosh, nearly deleted you.
I think well, this is my thought process. Both of them had Achilles tears. And I'm guessing they've both recovered quicker than maybe Rogue
anticipated. Yeah.
I think based off Trey's performance last weekend, and from what I'm seeing of Kieliszkowski, both deserve an invite to Rogue. There's no doubt about that. I mean, Kieliszkowski was second at the Arnolds this year, so it's surprising that he isn't there, especially if he's saying he's fit.
And he was third at Rogue last year.
He was third at Rogue last year. And he looks like he's keen to compete. But if Rogue sent out the invites before they've known all this, I don't know. Certainly with Trey, I think they're worried because of the Achilles, and obviously at Worlds he wasn't back to his best.
No, yeah, I can understand that. I mean, Trey surprised all of it. I think Trey really surprised himself.
Yeah, it was good to see. It was good to see, and I think sometimes when you don't get an invite, you do feel more motivated to get back to your best. But they're both incredible athletes. I'd love to see them at Rogue. Maybe that's the one sort of thing with Rogue is only 10 athletes. Maybe like 12 would be better. But you know, there's still 10 fantastic athletes at Rogue as well. So there's a problem. Too many good athletes right now.
Dalton, you're damn right. That was me in the shorts. I knew it, Dalton. I was just double checking.
There were some memorable shorts.
Yeah, oh yes. Carla asking about some specifics about what the judges were looking for in the deadlift and how the point system shook up the podium.
So I wasn't at the athletes meeting. We were flying. I didn't get in until afterwards. So when I watched the deadlift, I'm like, Evan's deadlift. You know, I still feel Evan deserved the deadlift. However, you can only go off the rules for each individual competition. And Cybernetic Strongman and myself had a chat about this, about rules for Strongman. We might do like a podcast about rules and stuff. It's hard with Strongman where every comp has different rules. We've spoken about this, about maybe when we are at comps, doing a video beforehand to explain to everyone what the rules of the comp are.
Yeah,
because
putting it out before the competition starts.
If you guys would be interested in that, let us know, because we'll try it at
we'll do it
Birmingham next weekend. So the rules were there was not allowed to be any movement of the strap or the bar kind of moving through the hand during the lift. So Evan did lock out his deadlift. His knees were locked out, his shoulders were back, but his hand opened up. The rules were, and apparently they went through this a number of times in the rules meeting. I've since spoken to the referees, and that was why he wasn't given the lift. If that was the case and everyone was explained to it exactly the same, and everyone was expected to lift it a certain way, then I have no issues with the call. I think it's harsh. Don't get me wrong. I think it's harsh. But I can't. If I was an athlete, I wouldn't argue, because we've all been kind of told this is
hold on to the bar.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a silly rule in terms of like if you're not allowed any movement in that strap, get rid of the straps, because then you've got to hold on to it with your hands. It is natural when the kind of weights get heavier to have some kind of movement, unless you kind of are locked in tight. Which
is that like an unavoidable thing that will happen?
It depends how tight people get their straps. Right. I like my straps tight, but with the straps they used, you can get a little bit. With figure of eights, you can get a lot, because it'll kind the figure of eight kind of move forward, and then it'll just go down as far as the figure of eight will allow, which can be into the fingertips, which is stupid, because then you're looking at 3-4 inches
of difference.
You know, Evan got maybe 1 inch out of the strap. And he didn't get it from the floor. He got it kind of towards lockout. So a little bit different, but still, that was the rules. That was what they were all told beforehand. So who am I to argue with that? It's what the rules were. As an athlete, I'd have to accept it. As a fan, I have to accept it. Evan, as an athlete, has to accept it. He doesn't have to like it. We as fans don't have to like it, but that was the rules that all the athletes were told.
I thought Evan took it really well, though.
He did. He took it really well. But sometimes it's easy to let these things play on your mind a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think the big issue for me as a strongman fan and someone that kind of loves the sport, and for you guys watching, it's not being clear comp to comp. When every comp has different rules,
comp to comp,
it gets frustrating. And if we don't know what the rules are beforehand,
that's where like rumors start. And people,
yes,
I mean, I saw some wild comments about like, you know, people being corrupt and penalized for no reason. I was like, oh no, guys, I think this was in the rule. let's calm down.
I mean, I've seen Terry getting a lot of shit about his refereeing. I actually think Terry did a great job, and let me explain why. You have to go and watch every single athlete that he's refereed, and he maintained the same standard of refereeing for every single athlete. It's bad when people are given different calls. So if someone gets away with an easy call and someone then gets a really strict call, that's bad refereeing if it's all from the same person. Terry's calls were exactly the same for everyone. You watch every single person, not just in the pro show, but in the open as well. He maintained the same level of expectation from each athlete. So yeah, if your favorite guy doesn't get the rep, you're going to say he's a terrible referee, but go and watch every single athlete and look what he asks of them, and then come back to me.
Michael, will you guys be at Giants Live Vegas? I just got silver VIP tickets. I couldn't help myself after getting back from Strongest.
I am glad to hear it, Michael, and yes, we are. We're looking forward to it.
With bells on, So for the VIPs, I can't remember which package is which. I think Gold VIP gets the meet and greet before at 3:30. Assuming they run at normal times, and then the silver VIP I think gets you into the meet and greet after the show. So we'll be at both of those though, won't we? As well as obviously
looking forward to Vegas. It's going to be fun. First time for you in Vegas.
I know, how nice. Yay. Canada's strongest man today. Yes. Have we seen any results?
I saw some stuff that JF posted up.
There's been some other competitions this weekend as well. UK Strongest Woman has been won by Rebecca Roberts 3 times in a row now. She won every single event. And also England's Strongest Man. So these are both run by Ultimate Strongman. That was won by Andy Flynn, who was at the Giants Live Strongman Classic just a couple of months ago. And second place was Paddy Haynes. Third place was Paul Smith.
I don't know if this is the final scores, but it looks like Gabrielle Rayom is in a good lead with 1 event to go. They may have done that last event. I just can't see the overall scores. I think before the last event, Gabrielle Rayom was in the lead. Wesley Dewinski was in second, and Colton Sloan was in third. Good stuff.
Where are we? Get back to the stream, I'll say.
I'm waiting for the questions.
Okay.
You're the question reader.
Okay. How were the athletes at the altitude? Pablo seemed to be struggling.
I think most of the guys were okay, weren't they?
Yeah, to be fair to Pablo, when I shoved that camera in his face, that was right after the overhead medley, before we realized that there was a mistake. So you have to bear in mind, at this point, he thought that axle was lighter than it actually was. So, you know, thinking it was light and it felt really hard. He was thinking, I'm weak, I'm struggling. So I think he was actually okay. And it just, the mix up there took him by surprise and caught him off guard. But I think most guys were okay. A lot of guys were on oxygen in between events, like immediately after they had oxygen and ice.
It was a brutal comp.
It was, It really was. It's lovely seeing Liz on the Stoltman video too. Yeah.
Were you on the Stoltman's video?
Yeah, I was. But I was hanging around with Sinead a lot.
Okay.
Little Tom shoving the camera in my head. It's
horrible. Little Tom, he's still about 6'1".
I know. He's probably, before he became the videographer, probably never been called Little in his life. But we all call him Little Tom. Oh dear. Oh, Alex Lungo, he competed this weekend.
Yeah, he came third in his comp in Holland this weekend. Well done, buddy. I hope you're feeling okay and recovered. And his training partner, Jack, took the win. So proud of those boys.
Alprez Cat, thoughts on Strongest Man on Earth prize distribution? Was it fair? Now, I anticipated this happening this year because the last however many years,
always going to happen this year.
Brian redistributed his winnings. So if you take last year as an example, he evenly distributed it across every single athlete that competed, and he was the overall winner. So he had the biggest chunk of the money, which sort of overinflated everyone else's
prize money. It gave last place
money.
like 8,000 or something, didn't it?
I don't know if it was as much as that. That is huge for last place at any competition. This is kind of to be expected, I think. I mean, I've seen some criticism of the jumps and the overall distribution. I mean,
I think this is my kind of theory. I think the prize money should be higher for the higher places. Reason being, if you offer big prize money for last place, athletes that aren't in good shape will accept, and you probably take places of athletes that could do better.
Yeah.
So if you kind of know you're going to get $8,000 just to turn up, or $10,000 or whatever, you'll turn up and you'll take that place. Whereas maybe if you kind of think, oh, I'm only going to get 1,000, you think, okay, it's not worth me.
It's actually not worth it.
I should give it to someone else that's in shape. And I think that's the reason, you know, he's kind of done it that way.
Yeah. And bearing in mind that all of their flights, food, accommodation, everything's paid for while they're there. So the cost to them is time, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And obviously you're going to fight for those big places. I mean, it's normal in any sport for the prize money to be sort of highest for first place, and then it kind of gets halved and then halved again, and it kind of drops down very, very quickly. Even in, you know, tennis, golf, etc., sports like that, it drops down very, very quickly. For me, just seeing that much prize money in strongman is great, because there was a time you'd win last place would be first place.
Yeah.
But that's for schmoes like me that just did it for fun.
Schmoes. Yeah. Couldn't believe Tom Owen and Ollie Clark competed.
Couldn't believe Tom Owen and Ollie Clark competed. They did OSG Europe's last weekend. Why couldn't you believe that they were competing?
Yeah.
They're both very good athletes.
Yeah. Impressed that Pavlo lifted that second overhead. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Hedgehog. Yeah. Over 100K for first
there we
prize.
go. Do you think some competitors didn't realise the prize difference when Brian is no longer donating his prize money? Yes.
Potentially, yes. Potentially. I think some will have seen what they got last year and thought it would be the same. I think if you're smart, you'd realise it wouldn't be the same because Brian wasn't competing this year. But obviously, this year it was still the biggest amount of prize money ever. Shows what Brian's done in 5 years. I think it's fantastic. I'm glad you enjoyed the live stream, Andrew. It's good to hear positive comments. I did see some people saying it was like a terrible comp and a terrible experience to pay for the live stream. I think they got a really good team to make sure it was good quality production. Liz has watched it. I haven't had a chance yet, but nice to hear that there's positive comments about it. Why did Brian seem so depressed after the show with his video and seemed upset at the athletes for blaming everything and not being thankful? The thankful thing, I don't know. I'd need to talk to Brian. I think Brian was just a bit down because he expects so much of himself. He wants to put the best competition on out there. And he did an amazing job. A couple of things didn't go to plan. Happens to every promoter. You know, I think nothing always goes 100% to plan, and you got to deal with it and take the hits, which he did. You know, he owned up to things straight away. I've seen so many mistakes in so many competitions, and it's always going to be something. And I'm not talking about just strongman. You watch any professional sport, things go wrong at times.
I think as well, though, they were looking at every single comment, and I think that can be bad idea in the moment.
I think they need to not do that.
Like criticism is important. Do not get me wrong. But some people just go way over the top. I remember when we were at WUS Bahrain, and we thought, oh yeah, there were some problems there, but overall. And thankfully, it went all right in the end. And we got back, and it was just a shit show online.
I think
everyone was so angry.
I think one thing I've sort of learned is that people that enjoy it are quite quiet, but people that find negative things are really loud on the internet. Yeah. So, and that's not to say we shouldn't point out things that are wrong, because we want things to be better. But there's a way of saying things sometimes, and I think some people just want to shit on things. Other people do it in a more constructive criticism, if you like, which is more useful. But Brian puts a lot of pressure on himself to deliver the absolute best. So when something kind of went wrong, I think he was upset with himself. But honestly, he's got nothing to be upset about. I think he did an amazing job. It's very, very hard putting on a competition. I think he probably needs a slightly bigger team so he can delegate a bit more, because he's trying to do everything himself, which is hard. You know, him and his wife put so much effort into this. They really did. We kind of saw firsthand how exhausted they were at the end. You know, they did so much, and they do genuinely love the sport. And hopefully it continues to get bigger and better each year. I like that we have a lot of big competitions now. I think it's good for the sport. I don't think any one show particularly can. I don't like getting into this show's the best and this show's crap. You know, shitting on other shows, because as a sport we need lots of competition and lots of good shows for the athletes to be able to do this full time. If you just have one show a year, all right, the guy that won can make some good money, but what about the guy in 10th place?
Exactly.
You know, the best competition for being a pro, if you like, is the Giants Live, because they have a lot of opportunities throughout the year. Not quite as much in terms of top end prize money, but there's more chances to earn money through the year. And then we've got like Rogue and the Arnolds, and then World's Strongest Man. So there's lots of opportunities now to call yourself a pro. There's not many pros in strongman still.
And by pro, he means people that only do strongman for a living and don't hold another job.
I'm not on about like the American guys with their pro
cards.
cards. I'm on about people that can do this for a living full time. You know, every single major show there is still people working full time. So we're still not there, but shows like this definitely allow athletes to have better chances of eventually one day it can be full time for the top 30 or top 50 guys in the world.
Patrick with a members quote, member for 17 months. Thank you
very much, buddy.
Loved The Strongest Man on Earth. Go, Brian. You two are amazing.
Thank you very much. It's nice seeing some positive comments, isn't it? Thank you very much, Patrick.
I think, I don't know what it is. Like when I'm at a competition and I see people working hard and I just want it to go so well for them. And like when I see negative comments on our videos about competition someone else is running, I feel protective of them. And I'm just like, you know, it brings me down a little bit as well.
Of course.
I don't know. I'm a sensitive Sally. Hedgehog gifting the membership. Thank you very much, Hedgehog. Oh dear.
Very sweet.
What's that? Loz is the best coach.
Thank you, buddy. I'm not the best coach. I'm a good coach. And if I'm the right coach for you, then I'm good.
He's the best.
Great film.
Us British fans are pretty special too. You are.
We
no doubt about that.
One thing I'll say is like you know, we've been lucky to go to all the Giants Live shows, so we've been to a lot of great
British fans
arena shows, and it's nice that the Americans are getting those kind of experiences as well. And if you haven't been to Giants Live, if you're an American fan, I recommend going. It's an amazing experience, and again, I think you'll love it.
Here we go. This is a very good point. Thank you. In the behind the scenes video, a couple of athletes, let's name them Mitchell Hooper and Nick Guardione. We're taking the mickey out of Liz because she was saying it could be a problem that they couldn't move their feet in the squat. You were right, Liz. I was right. Thank you. I know.
Sounds like you've been listening to me.
But I know, like, I mean, I'm not squatting heavy weights in the grand scheme of things, but I know that I do that first squat and then sometimes I need a little wiggle of an adjustment, and then I'm better after the first rep. Thank you.
Especially if you've used either a machine type of squat before. I mean, I've used lots of machine types of squats and I'm very experienced in them, but if you don't get your feet perfect right away, it's just gonna mousetrap you, and that happened to some of the guys. I genuinely believe some of the guys that zeroed could get a rep if they were in the right position.
Any idea why Lucas Hatton isn't at the Giants Live Open in a couple of weeks?
I would love to see him at the having a go at the log lift record. I think 100% deserves an opportunity.
Even if it was just the American log lift record, it would be great to see him at a Giants Live. We need him there.
I think next year he'll get an opportunity.
Oh, definitely. Maybe later this year.
He has to get an opportunity.
He's still got the world title final. He's too good to ignore. And you always say this.
If you just get good enough, then no one can ignore you.
No. Well, people will want you, surely. Oh, dear. Okay. Strongest Man on Earth was a great show, but with all respect, most of the show is for the men, open group. The hotel, travel, flight, etc. is paid for them, but not for the open women. Why?
So let's get this right. The open men also have to pay their own way. It's only the pro men that don't have to pay. The open for the men and the women is just an open show.
Yeah.
As horrible as that sounds. And that's why you don't get a lot of the top English women or European women going. It's too expensive for them to go.
Yeah.
It's, Brian is putting on what he can for the pros. Rogue is the only company that can financially support the women right now, and they're doing that this year, and I hope they continue to. But no other company, unless they have a load of spare money, is going to be able to do that until the women's side of the sport gets bigger.
Yeah.
And I would love to. I coach the women, some of the women that are competing, and I'm so happy that they've got this opportunity. But as it stands, and I'm a fan of I love watching the women at the Arnolds, I love watching them at the Rogue. As it stands, on a bigger scale, they are not bringing the same amount of eyes to the sport as the men do. And that is fact when you look at the amount of people that go to the shows. We had Britain's Strongest Woman this year, along with England's Strongest Man, and that just didn't attract the same amount of people that were there for Britain's Strongest Man.
No, it didn't. No.
So hopefully it gets to that point where we do see, the women's side getting just as much as the men at every type of show. It's just not there yet. They're still a few years behind. They're back where I was competing.
Yeah. It's just
honestly,
10, 15 years behind. Yeah. Ricky, 50 Big Lots official membership.
Thank you so much. If anyone got a membership from Ricky, make sure you thank the man and go and watch some of our behind the scenes
crazy
stuff.
Thank you so much, Ricky.
There's some funny stuff on there.
Yeah, there is some funny videos on there. I hope you enjoyed them. Obviously after the live stream. Did Strongest Man on Earth have on-site medicals like World's Strongest Man, or require any medical documentation from the athletes? Not sure about the pre-comp process, to be honest, but there was medical staff on hand at the competition. Yes,
I was just there as a commentator, so
so not privy to. And also, we got in like at the last possible opportunity.
Yeah, because we were on holiday, we had to turn up late, so we literally we got back from home Thursday, and then Friday morning we flew to Colorado. Yeah. And then Friday afternoon, I chucked our stuff in the hotel. Then
went over, and you were on the panel, weren't you?
Yeah, and then we had meetings, and I was falling asleep in the meetings. Yeah. I was so tired. Got a good night's sleep, though, and then it was all good.
Yes, we were fine, weren't we? Lots on for a random Sunday. Leave a like. Is it random, though? This is our first one in a month, and...
we've got 700 people watching us.
A big competition.
Glad you guys could join us.
Yes.
And it's a bank holiday in the UK tomorrow, so maybe more people can join us.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know how it was this year. Yes. So this year it was an open competition that anyone could register for and compete in. So they were set up to accommodate a lot more people this year, weren't they? And I don't know how many turned up because we missed the first day of competition for the Opens. It was all done and dusted by the time we arrived in Loveland.
Yeah.
But last year, the Open women had to send videos doing squats, deadlift, etc. to be invited. Yeah. So there was no qualification process this year. It was literally an Open that anyone could enter.
We've got a few super chats we should try and kind of address, because I think you've fallen behind a little bit looking at the time of these messages.
Me? Doesn't sound like me.
That's 9:13 and we're at 9:43 now.
Oh, Christ. Okay. Cousin Fred, my parking tonight. I get to meet Kelly. Yes. I don't know what's going on there.
Don't crush her ribs, Fred. That's the most important thing.
Don't crush anything, Fred.
Fred says he didn't like Schmo because
my Wi-Fi sucks.
Well, that's your fault, Fred. Yes, I like that. You got to blame something. You don't like something because of something wrong on your end.
Hello, Loz and Liz. Controversy and bitter feelings around strongest man on earth. Makes me wonder if the comp will continue if the emotions don't get sorted. Any thoughts?
I definitely hope it continues. I've heard a few people wonder if, like, I don't know if it's in Brian's video and wonder if he's going to do it again. I really hope he does. You know, I guess you think how tired he's going to be.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. And I think
he had hardly any sleep. He's probably going to have like a few days sleep and kind of think, oh, you know what? I'm ready to do it now. It was a great show. There's been lots of positive, you know, talk. The initial thing was there was so much negative talk out there about it.
Yeah.
So it's horrible to see, but
easy to feel disheartened, wouldn't it?
I think a number of things. One, I think, you know, it shows you how hard it is to put on these shows. So maybe we need to have a bit more respect for all the promoters because it is tough, especially the ones that genuinely try to do a good job. There's obviously people out there that have come into the sport and then vanished and, you know, just they're trying to make a quick buck. But the people that genuinely care have been around a long time. So it's tough. It's tough, but we're seeing the sport grow so much. We're getting more and more new fans that didn't realize we were so bad a few years ago. So when they see something not so great, they probably are quicker to jump on it than someone like myself that's been around and seen how bad it was to start with. I'm thankful that we've got these great shows. I think Brian did a great job. I'm going to keep saying that because he did. You know, even I've spoken to some of the athletes and even the way he sort of owned up to the mistake with the axle that he's getting a lot of praise for. I'm sure the athletes that are walking away with big prize money are very, very happy. It's an amazing opportunity for them. Train hard, do the best you can, and keep winning.
Flipping Mama Kelly, no worries, it's Fred. I'm meeting in a parking lot. I don't know what's going on.
Right, there's Rauno.
But Rauno's in the chat. Hi, if you notice, then Ivers lost his belt with the first finger and no belt in power.
And also, he was really tired by that point.
Yeah,
he's tired to start with. But he's
didn't realize Ivers was being stripped of his equipment as the event went on.
You know, something that people should understand is Ivers is an amazing strongman, and he came 14th in this competition. It shows how tough and how high the standard was.
Yeah. Do you think Tom's 7th place bothers him, even if he says it does not? I was gutted for him on the stones. I think it really depends on what you think you're capable of before a competition. If he knew that he was probably capable of somewhere between 7th and 5th or something like that, then he's probably not that bothered. But I think if
you're an athlete, look, I can tell you from an athlete's point of view,
you always want to win.
You will be bothered at the time, but you will get over it quickly. You think, okay, what did I do wrong? I made a mistake on this. I made a mistake on that. What do I need to go and work at? Get yourself in the gym, take the positives, and go train harder for next time. What I expect to see from Tom between now and Rogue is an improvement.
Yeah.
And if he comes to Rogue and he's battling hard for the title, then he'll have learned from that experience. An athlete, you're going to win some and you're going to lose some. It's the way it is. You've just got to kind of move on and keep pushing yourself hard.
I like this. The quad father for Lucas.
Very good.
I'm coming. Oh, you're going to have to read the super chat.
Problem.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, buddy. It was good to meet you. Everyone needs to hit the like button. If you love the content, you've got to support even the smallest ways possible. Meeting you two at the show face-to-face was so great. It was awesome to meet you too, buddy. Really appreciate that as well. Thank you very, very much. Sarah says, thank you, Rauno, for that explains why he struggled with the stairs. Look, I'm friends with Ivers as well, and I'm friends with Rauno, and I still think he would have struggled. He was struggling just because it was a tough comp. And Rauno will know what it's like. 8-event competition, you're feeling it, and when you're out of contention to win a competition or do well, at that point you are thinking, I just want to finish this. I just want to get it done and finish the competition. That's taking nothing away from Ivers. He's a fantastic athlete. And, you know, we've all been there where you're sort of not doing as well as you like. It's the end of the competition and you just, you know, you make a silly mistake. You don't put your belt on properly. It comes off. You don't care. As an athlete, you can cope with those things. But depending on how your headspace is in terms of where you are in the fight is going to dictate how hard you try in that last event. I love that Kelly and Fred are just having this conversation ongoing on here.
There was a spider.
Did you, Mummy? You're more scared of spiders than Alexa.
I know, but I'm brave in front of the children. I got rid of it.
Oh, have I just? Is this the same comment?
Yes, you're going in the wrong direction.
No, I'm going this way.
Oh, okay. There we go. Anthony, Terry was so consistent, just hard seeing
him and JF. Yeah.
What do you mean hard seeing him?
Well, it's hard to watch two people at the same time, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Loz, are you doing OSG Masters this year?
I am not, I'm afraid, guys. I was thinking about doing the British Masters, but between now and when the competition is, I think we're away for like 6 of the 8 weeks till that contest. And OSG Masters is when our daughter's birthday is this year. She's going to be 7, and we want to focus on that. I'm only going to compete in shows if I feel they interest me, and I want to. That's the nice thing about being retired. I don't have to just compete in anything. I'm just going to train for fun. I'm really enjoying my training, trying to get in better shape still, trying to bring my deadlift up a little bit more now as well, and just enjoy my training. I would definitely love to do some kind of Masters Legends type competition if it was on a big scale, but for now I'm just going to keep enjoying training. I'm still arm wrestling, still doing 5 days a week in the gym, training hard. But
can you see if you can see Andrew's comment? Sorry, Andrew. It is not attached. It might be a sticker, perhaps.
Where are we looking? Okay.
Can't I Leather said, Rebecca is amazing, but Lucy not being there does overshadow the victory. I'm sorry to say. I strongly disagree with you, Can't I Leather? Because you can only beat who turns up on the day, can't you? So it doesn't overshadow it. Like people might say, oh, yeah, but Lucy wasn't there. But, that's on Lucy, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, you can only beat who turns up. So, Rebecca was the best out of the athletes that turned up. It was Rebecca's title to lose. So the alternative is just not turning up if she didn't feel that she had strong enough opposition, which I guess is maybe a bit disrespectful to all the other ladies competing. Yeah. And it's not a title she's going to want to lose either. Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't, baby. We're still too far behind.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Go down a bit.
Okay. Someone I had a picture with in the boot commenting. The boot was the restaurant.
Oh, yeah. We went there a couple of times.
Every night.
You did. I didn't.
No. How great to meet you guys. Thank you, Hal. Good to meet you too. Michael, thank you for the super chat. To avoid confusion on rules for fans and athletes, maybe announce the rules to the fans on the floor and live stream prior to starting each event.
So we said, like, if we go to comps and we are at rules meetings, we're going to put out a video with the rules
the evening
just
before.
So people are kind of aware of them. We're going to start that at Birmingham. So if you think that's a good idea, let us know.
We're going to be taking diligent notes throughout the meeting. And I do understand why they don't want those meetings filmed. And for those who aren't sure why, it is because the athletes need to feel comfortable asking questions, even if it's a stupid question. And if cameras are rolling, I think that becomes a little bit harder, doesn't it? So cameras often aren't allowed in rules meetings for that reason. How was the rivalry between Liz and Brian settled? Glad you both made up. When I eventually told Brian about that, he genuinely had no idea. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, like thinking I've been subjected to, I was like, no, it's fine. But me and Brian are okay, I think.
So Hal said he spoke with Kerry.
Her and Brian are really struggling with lack of gratitude and response from athletes. Hope they continue to put on a great show. Thank you for the super chat, Hal.
Maybe it's kind of, I say this sometimes. I say athletes these days don't know how lucky they are. And maybe it comes from Brian being old school, if you like. He knows what it was like for us. But the fact that they have got opportunities is good. And, I think we want to continue to make those opportunities for the future of the sport. Yeah. Otherwise, the sport goes backwards and, maybe dies. So I think we've just got to accept that they won't ever appreciate what it was like for us, because why should they?
Well, yeah, because that's not been their experience. Yeah.
I can sit here with the old guys and we can kind of be grumpy old men and say, oh, yeah, they don't know how lucky they are. But that's a good thing. Yeah. It's a good thing that they don't know what it's like to be treated crap and have like terrible equipment to lift and have no one watching and have no prize money. Yeah. It's good that we've managed to help the sport progress that much.
What happened with the wuss? It was all about the deadlift, wasn't it? There was this event where they were supposed
they had to load the deadlift themselves,
like a rising bar.
That was a bad idea.
Yeah, and then it all got messed up because the loaders, who I think some of them didn't even speak English, started loading it for the athletes, and it just really messed up that first event. Yeah. Dear me.
Very impressed there was no major injuries. I think that's a good win from this competition.
Yeah.
Because, there was no bad injuries at all, was there? I think Thomas Evans hurt himself a little bit, but he finished the competition.
Yeah, so. I think Tristan sort of injured an existing injury as well, but nothing huge, it seems.
How much do you miss Holly while you were away?
We did miss her a lot. It is nice, though, to be able to enjoy a meal without these puppy dog eyes staring at you.
She's been very good. She's just sat beneath us right now.
She's been on 3 walks today. Long ones as well.
Hit that like, folks. Yes, indeed. If you haven't already, go and give this video a like, please, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
As a community, we don't need negative people. Unfortunately, it's going to happen as the sport grows, but hopefully they'll.
There you go. Quiet, supportive fan here. Love the comp. Thank you very much, Julia. And I think for the most part, that's what we are. Like I watch other sports, and I'm not really someone that comments much on other videos, but I'm there supporting in my own way. I mean, you're paying for live streams that we were working at. Well, I was working at.
I'm supporting the sport, Loz. I'm giving back.
It's good.
Dalton, thank you for the super chat. Nothing else to add. Just wanted to send a super chat because y'all are awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This is nice.
Loz looking in tremendous shape lately. Really noticed.
I never used to get comments like that before, so I'm going to appreciate any that I get.
No, it's Loz, you're looking big. Are you fat?
Thank you very much. Yes, before.
Big Bang Beery, glad to see Liz and Brian managed to end the video. Thank you.
Thanks for the coverage.
Thank you both for the coverage.
Good stuff.
I didn't get it. Pay-per-view was cheap, $25. Brian does live Q&A. Members of the weekends, he signs this match for free with every order. Kerry says sweet and a rock star, so why so much negativity? I think, first off, $25 can be a lot of money in some countries.
Yeah, and look, I've been in a position where $25 for a pay-per-view would be too much for me. Certainly early in my career, that was just something I couldn't afford. I'm lucky now that I can enjoy pay-per-views. I watch other sports and I'll pay for them. And, my life's changed a little bit than it was back then. So, but I appreciate both sides of things. But I think it's wrong for people to say it shouldn't be a pay-per-view. Brian's put that money back into the sport.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's made some money himself. I hope he has, because the amount of work you put in as a promoter, damn right you should be trying to earn something from it.
And we want him to be motivated to continue doing it as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's not going to be affordable for everyone, so you're just gonna have to enjoy what you can kind of get with the free build up and follow along with the spreadsheet and all that stuff. But that's just the way it is, I'm afraid. There was a time I couldn't pay for arm wrestling pay-per-views or boxing and stuff like that. It's just, you just gotta aim to improve things over time.
Laurence, thank you for the super chat. Flew from Ireland with my wife and baby to the strongest man on earth and definitely returning.
Is this the same people that you met?
Yeah, baby Larry. I held the baby. I really loved the event. Opportunities for improvement, but Brian and Kerry's intent is perfect. All going in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we agree, definitely. Yeah, I think everyone had the baby. I actually stole the baby. Oh, gimme. Oh, dear.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I was just reading it quietly in my head. During Strongman Classic, I saw a woman in the audience and thought she's kind of hot. And then I realised it was Auntie Liz. After years of watching, it just felt wrong.
I saw you on the stream when I was commentating. I was like, oh, she's a hottie.
Thanks. Bunch of pervs. It's not about how I look, it's about my brain, of which I do not have much.
I love you for your brain as well.
Thank you so much.
And your banter.
Yeah.
But it's nice that you don't look like
a troll.
Yeah.
Do you think Rogue will be the main goal for the strongmen now and in the future? For the strong women, now in the future. It's by far their best opportunity.
This year, Rogue is a huge opportunity for the women. Every single one of the women that has been invited to Rogue is going to be mega excited about that competition because it's such an advancement in the sport for them. If you think if I give you an example of what I earned doing strongman. So when I won Britain's Strongest Man, I got £1,000. I won SCL comps, like €2,500. I won a number of Giants Live shows. The most I ever won at Giants Live was 10,000 when I won Europe's Strongest Man. World's Strongest Woman last year won 3,500. So for World's Strongest Woman, it was 3,500. I think the Arnold's was a little bit more, but the prize money for women has never been anything particularly high. So they're going from probably where I was at 10,000, maybe if they won Arnold's, to an opportunity to win over $100,000.
Yeah.
And last place will get more than the winner of World's Strongest Woman. Huge opportunity for the women. Now they have to put on a show and hope that Rogue do it again in the future. And if people don't want to get behind it, then maybe they won't. So there's pressure, but they need to put on a show, get behind each other. I would say to all the strong women, back your athletes here, even if you know it's not your favorite athletes that are getting there, because who knows what the future opportunities will be for you.
Yeah.
So they need to make it a big thing this year for them to keep it going.
This question: what do you think of the scoring system used at Strongest Man on Earth? I think the most collective, the one with the most collective event wins should be declared the winner. So this is the same scoring system used across the whole of the sport, and it's designed to reward consistency over specialization, I guess. There have been different scoring systems used. So for example, because I see this comment a lot, reward wins more. And they used to use that at World's Strongest Man. The winner would get like 10 points, then second place would get, I think, 8 or 6 points. But what that created was such a huge disparity between the points. The competition was over halfway through.
The other thing is, like, if you do score like that, maybe someone's going to get a huge amount of points for beating someone by a split second.
Yes, because sometimes events are won literally in a split second, a hundredth of a second. So
there's a competition today, England's Strongest Man, where Paddy Haynes came second. He won 4 of the 5 events, but he zeroed an event as well.
He did a Thor. But he came second.
But like, you know, Kiliashkovsky's done it before. Kiliashkovsky would have beaten Thor if we went on that ruling at the Arnold's before. Yeah. Strongman has for so long based it off. They'll take however many athletes are competing and use the top end points for first, and it'll be 1 point less each position down. Unless there's ties, then they split the points.
One thing I really like about the Strongest Man on Earth is that Brian does so much to avoid ties and points on different events. So if we take the keg toss as a nice example, lots of guys went out on the same weight. Oh, sorry, same height.
Yeah.
But looking at the throw before that, they were rewarded for getting it over in fewer throws, weren't they? And then things like the stone that was still split time. So even though a few guys got the same stone, doing it quicker rewarded you. So there was lots of ways to split up the points there. I thought it was.
But the scoring has been pretty much like this
since 1980, something like that. Yeah.
So it's nothing new. Yeah. You know, everyone's kind of used to it. Thor's used to it. He's benefited from it, and this time not so much. But you know, Thor had a couple of bad events, whereas Mitch was consistently top 3, top 4 in every single event.
Yeah.
It would be like a bodybuilder having really bad legs. You wouldn't give him the win because he was amazing in like his upper body, but had like one big weakness.
Don't separate the syllables when saying it.
Loveland.
So say, how can you say Loveland as one syllable?
I don't know.
Loveland.
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 Loveland is separated.
Lovely land. I'm going to need a voice note with like a how-to. Thank you, Monica. Ryan, thank you for the super chat. Channeled my inner Loz and hit a £700 yoke for a massive PR in preparation for OSG.
That is fantastic, Ryan. Good man. I hope you qualify and I hope you go smash it, buddy.
Member for life. Thank you so much, Ryan.
£700 as an under 80 is
huge,
awesome.
Yeah. Lots of new members. Turtle Hubby, thank you for the super chat. Thoughts on the keg toss and height? People like Brian and Thor have an advantage in being a foot taller. Also, what's the recovery night of day 1 like? Heights in strongman.
Height in strongman is one of those things. Some events is going to be beneficial, some events is going to be a negative. So, you know, I think I can't really get into that argument. People are going to say, oh, of course Thor's got an advantage on a throw. He's 6'8", 6'9", so is Tom. but Thor still won. So the best guy, he's still, not one throw even looked close to being a max effort for him. However, Lucas Hatton's got an advantage at pressing because he doesn't have to press as far. So there's always strengths and weaknesses for athletes, and that's why it's so important to be good all round. It's who has the least weaknesses really is the best strongman. Obviously, you have people that specialize in certain things, but one of the things when if you're going to choose to do strongman, you've got to try and be as strong as possible in so many different areas. So I as an athlete, I didn't really get into the whole, that guy's got a big advantage over me. It was just, maybe on that event he's built better, but on other events I'm built better. So it kind of levels out over the course of every competition.
Recovery night of day one like in a 2-day comp?
A lot of the guys were getting IV drips to try and get hydration better. They're going to be getting food in them, potentially massage treatments, and just resting as much as they can. Trying to get food in. Sleep is important if you can sleep well. A lot of the guys would have got IV drips, and it's kind of, maybe a cold bath. It depends. They all do things slightly differently.
Yeah. Sway Station, thank you for the super chat. What was your thoughts on the crew not resetting the logs, not catching Maxime when he blacked out?
This is another thing they were all told. They had to kind of control the logs themselves. So some competitions, the helpers will do it. They were told they had to bring the logs back themselves. So again,
we do see that sometimes. It's not completely unique to this show, is it? But if I think Magnus, his competition is super strict on it. The Magnus Fair Magnus and Classic.
Some of it is like the promoter will tell them they've got to control the log down and stuff like that, and they've got to bring it back themselves if they do throw it or anything, because you don't want the equipment to break.
No,
so it's making people try and respect the kit a bit
maybe
more.
Different shaped pads that cradled the log a bit better might solve those problems. Who knows? Not me.
Not you, Lizzie, not you.
Not me. The quad father. Yes, that's it. Lucas, if you're watching, congratulations for the quad father. Scotland with the members comment for Liz. Fingers. So hard. Thank you. Not. Hussein. So thank you for the super chat. We did address your comment a little bit higher up about second place. It's not a crime though. It's the point system that's been used since about 1980.
Yeah.
Every athlete goes into it knowing exactly what it is. You need to be consistent. If you have weaknesses, you're going to lose a lot of points. And a competition
I always say this to people that get into strongman. If my athletes will hear me telling them, people I'm talking to, strongman is not about being the strongest. It's about having the most points at the end. Just like any sport, you've got to separate the name. The name confuses people, but it's a sport at the end of the day, and your goal is to win within the parameters of what you're allowed to do. And strongman is not about being the strongest, which sounds stupid. Obviously, being strong massively helps, but it's about scoring the most points. And whoever has the most points at the end of the day, and this is the same scoring system that's been used for 40 years now, is going to win. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the scoring. Every single one of the athletes understands the scoring system, and they've all benefited and potentially, lost out because of the scoring system before.
What have we got here? Eek Pigs Martha. I'm not sure, but thank you for the super chat. Brian killed it. Best show on our calendars. Best promoter we could ask for. Maybe next year just put weights on a bar and have guys squat it to depth so we can relate to it, even if it's less weights.
It would need to be less weight.
380
raw for reps is just stupid. The squats are always a tough event to do in a competition. I'll kind of say that it's a tough one. There's always kind of refereeing disparities and depth and stuff like that.
Terry commentated and refereed. Would you be interested in that?
No interest in refereeing at all. I like commentating. I get in trouble supporting athletes as a commentator. Could you imagine being
you couldn't
a referee?
You couldn't referee.
And then coming back on and talking about athletes.
You couldn't, no.
Refereeing is a thankless job.
I was going to say, it's so thankless. Like, no, I don't. I won't wish it on anyone.
No.
Where are we? It's all about getting.
What's Rick saying?
Yeah, I meant the pros. But the last couple of years, we've seen top 10 women doing the Open at the Short Classic and not getting the same X as the pro man. No music, not getting hotel, etc. paid.
Yeah, like I said, the pro men is a separate show. So there's Strongest Man on Earth, and then there's the Short Classic Open for the men and women, and that is not the same as the pro show. It's done in the day. There's not really people watching or anything.
I think you need like different tickets to watch that one.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
no, you're right. You do.
Yeah, okay.
It's, to watch the pro show, you've got to buy the tickets for. That's the show that you're paying for. The Open is an open competition that anyone can compete in, but it's not part of the pro show, if you like.
Did Hooper stay injury-free? He said something about his back. Yeah, he was feeling a bit sore after, I think it was the second deadlift. His back sort of cracked a bit. But
yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, he was all right. He managed the other 7 events.
Normal like aches and pains are absolutely sore, but body's okay.
Yeah. El Press Cat, thank you for the super chat. Sell merch at the SMOE Expo. Here it sells. Wow. I'm sure it does. But oh man, it's a lot. It's a lot to juggle, isn't it?
It is. We need more people who can work for us.
Yeah. What's happening with Martins? He's been talking to Lasha, hasn't he? Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that one. He's back training as well.
Tallahassee?
Yeah.
Did they say it right?
Tallahassee, yeah.
Oh,
just won the Olympics.
Yes, yeah.
For the 3rd time, I think.
Still doing his Strength Unknown series, yeah.
But he's back training.
Cool.
Just early stage of training. I don't know when he's planning on competing again.
Okay. Al Bundy, thank you for the super chat. Good vibes. Loz, do you think you would be great in arm wrestling if you really commit to it? I mean, you have the height, mental capacity, and the
thank you very much, Al. I think I could have been great at it if I did it as my first sport. I think having torn both biceps, that's going to hold me back. I'm very strong in my hand and wrist, but I'm weak in my arm, which is a disadvantage at the top level. So I think it'd be very hard for me to be sort of amazing at arm wrestling, but I enjoy it, and I'll keep trying to get better and do the best that I can. And if there's any surgeons out there that are willing to operate, that think they can fix me and make my arms stronger, then I'm willing to talk.
So long after.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt something move. I forgot the dog was down there. How do you feel about Novikov not even coming out for the stones? Should people who knowingly come to comps in poor shape be barred from coming back? So to be fair, Alexi said, I think it was in the panel, that he wasn't, in his best shape, but Brian still wanted him to come.
Yeah. It's, he's a big name. I want to see Alexi at his best. That's what I want to. I want to see all the guys at the best. Sometimes they're not. I feel Alexi needs a little bit of time off now, and to maybe come back at his best next year or something. It's hard because he needs the money, I think, in terms of, it's his job. Also, he's been donating a lot of money for the causes, the war that's going on in Ukraine. It's difficult because if I coached him, I'd be like, you need some time off, buddy. We need to get you back to your best. However, when it's your full-time job, I understand why he does it, but you're then not earning the money that you potentially could earn as well.
And you're not recovering as well as you possibly could.
And at his age, he's still young enough to get fully recovered and come back, really good. So I hope he does. And yeah, there's always a risk of, if you invite people, that they're going to turn up because they just want the payday, I guess. But Alexi's a winner, a champion. He's won 11 internationals,
something like that.
A number of majors. He's one of the best we've had over the last few years, and just this year has not been the same Alexi. I want to see him in shape, battling and showing the top guys, you're not going to get it all your own way.
Hater XXX, who is nothing but lovely, I should point out. The leaner Loz gets, the more he looks like a bobblehead. Maybe you should get some to sell. That would be so nice.
Get some bobbleheads.
Yeah, I think, I looked into personalized bobbleheads before, and they were crazy expensive. I think I'm looking in the wrong places. I think I need to look on one of these sites that outsources to other parts, because they were crazy expensive. Do coaches get a cut of winnings?
I don't.
Loz, some coaches do work that way. They take a percentage of athletes' winnings. You've never done that, have you?
No. And I wouldn't.
No.
Although if Mitch wants to buy me like a
I was
Christmas
going to
present,
say,
I won't say no.
We should have maybe introduced that in 2022. Could have made a bloody fortune, but never mind. 50% will do.
No, I would never do that.
No. Yes, we are traveling to Vegas. I'm very much looking forward to it. Flights are booked. Hopefully someone's booked us a hotel. But yes, we're going. Benjamin, thank you for the super chat. You look at Mitch Hooper, around 325 pounds, 6'2", yet he's putting up numbers in the ballpark of Eddie, Bryan, and Thor. Does this call into question the value of being a mass monster in strongman?
I think the sport's changed a little bit. There's a little bit more athletic kind of ability that's kind of become a bit more important. Mitch is very smart. We kind of, we're looking to get the most out of his body, whereas Zdrunas, Eddie, etc. were just brute strength. Mitch is a bit more, he uses his whole body very effectively. Mitch is more like a lightweight athlete, a little bit more technically sound, if you like. Same with Pavlo Kordiaka, but it depends on the comp still. Thor won 5 of the 8 events. We shouldn't kind of discredit that. He still shows that if you're big enough, if you're tall enough, you can kind of fill out that frame, but you've got to go on your body shape and what's most effective for you. For Mitch, if we kind of put another 50 pounds on him, he probably wouldn't be as good.
No,
he might be a better squatter and deadlifter and presser, but he'd probably lose that athletic ability that makes him so good all round as well. So it's weighing up the pros and cons of what weight is good for you as an athlete. I experimented. I think my best weight was probably around 330. I got up to as heavy as 370. Some things were a little bit better. A lot of things got a lot worse. So not always bigger is better.
Shane Flowers in the chat, one of our famous friends. Hope you're doing well, Shane.
Shane is doing well. His recovery is going really well from his bicep. He's looking really good in training. So hopefully we will see him back to his best very soon.
Yes. A really random but fun comment from El Shepo. My main disappointment with Strongest Man on Earth was the lack of kitchen appliance events. Replace the cake toss with an air fryer. Much better. I quite enjoyed that.
I know you would. That's right down your street.
That is, yeah. What people are saying no to. It's a brilliant idea. The air conditioner throw. W with the members comment, is Strongest Man on Earth now the best paying for competitors as well? We'll have to do the maths once.
Commentators.
Oh, for commentators.
No, it's not. But we were very happy to be a part of it. I was very happy to be a part of it.
Yeah. Where are we? Waste of good aircon. Philip, thank you so much for the super chat. Hooper has the cheat code, knowing how to balance to stay in the hunt.
Hooper's a smart athlete. That's what he is. There's no question about that. He understands how to compete. He understands when to push hard, when to hold back.
He listens to the rules.
And he listens to the rules.
You'd be amazed how many people don't.
Will Martins and Kudishkovsky be at Rogue Invitational?
Not
they have not been invited as competitors.
No.
Shelley?
I doubt they'll be there. There, yeah. Shelley, thank you for the super chat. I was so excited to meet you out at the Strongest Man on Earth. I was fangirling so bad. Although I'm usually quiet member, but I'm always watching and appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much, Shelley.
We met so many channel members, like just people that say they watch the channel, and it's really nice.
It's Shane.
Training going really well, thank you. Good. Where are we?
Michael's member comment.
Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Michael, for tuning in.
Turtle Hubby.
Are the Rogue events a lot of repeats? I'd say no.
Quite a few new things this year. Yeah.
Is Big Loz preparing for a show? Because that man is huge.
Just training. They're just enjoying training. I was thinking about doing the British Masters, but I've decided not to, just to continue training. We're very busy, so I didn't really have the best opportunity to prep for a strongman comp. Yeah. But I'm enjoying my training, and I'll just continue to try to get better.
Where are we? Turtle Hubby, thank you for the super chat. How is strongman training structured? Body/powerlifters do push, pull, legs, or specific muscles, but strongman has so many compound movements and lower back.
Varies for different athletes, and also what you're training for. Off-season training can be very much kind of lower body, upper body focused. certain body parts, perhaps for some athletes. When it comes more to competition, then you might get a bit more specific prep based around the events that you're focusing on. But me as a coach, I like to focus on squatting, deadlifting, overhead work, conditioning. And, if you get all those good, then getting the specifics out of different events is easier. Sometimes I feel too many people spend too much time specializing on certain kit. I've had athletes that I'll train, they haven't touched a bit of kit at all, and then we'll get them on that kit and they hit the PB straight away because they've got stronger at the basics. And I keep repeating how important the basics are. And if you look at the best guys, they tend to do things very similar. There are people that may do things a little bit differently, and if it works for you, then absolutely great. There's nothing wrong with that. But basics go very, very well. Get strong legs, get a strong back, get stronger overhead, learn to move well. And I think some people just try to rush a little bit. They don't get the fundamentals as good as they should before they're rushing in with all the specific events. If you get those fundamentals good, all those different events will come much, much easier.
Strongman Media asked, do you think Hixie has a chance at the 505?
He's got a chance, definitely. How good a chance right now, I'm not sure. I haven't seen so many big pulls from him in the last month, I'd say. But that's probably a good thing. He probably needed to back off and now start building up once again. He's been looking really good in training. Even Makarov also looking ridiculously strong in training. Apparently. And even Rauno pulled 400 for 5. He wasn't looking sort of in the contention, but he gets strong very quickly. So I think those three are the real contenders. I will say I think Thor is the best deadlifter in the world, and it's a shame he's not going to be in Vegas. But it's an opportunity for someone to get that record. And I think if Thor really wants it, he will go after it next year.
I saw a comment on Reddit saying even failed a 480 elevated deadlift or something.
Interesting. He pulled a 505 elevated deadlift.
This was like today.
A few weeks ago. I knew he was doing a training video recently. If you follow Even, he is a crazy man. You watch some of his gym lifts, they're insane.
Yeah.
He did this lift where he had 175 kilos and he sort of did a sit up with it and then shoulder pressed it and then came down and then bench pressed it.
Christ. You had me do that once with like a teeny tiny bar.
With just a bar, not with 170 kilos. Yeah. It's insane strength. But I didn't see his 480. Not good if he's failing that kind of weight this far out, but he's very strong. He's had more attempts at the 505, I think, than anyone.
He has, yeah.
And Rauno is starting to look stronger again.
Yeah, he did 400 for 5 reps, touch and go.
I'd love to see one of them do it. I think there is a chance, but I think it's a low percentage. I don't think it's like a guarantee, that's for sure. I think, maybe...
We've learned to manage our expectations, haven't we?
Yeah. I will go ballistic if we see it.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Then it'll be a party. Woo! Old Man Gib, thank you for the super chat. Do they do any sort of mandatory drug testing in the strongman competition? Some of the women look like roid junkie monsters. Are PEDs banned or allowed?
There are competitions where they're banned and there's competitions where they're not tested. I won't say that they're allowed, but they're just not tested. I think that's probably the best way to answer. But there are some federations that are completely banned, some where it's just not tested.
Yes. And thankfully, it's not a beauty competition. So the women are free to use what they want and look how they want also.
Would you use?
No. I've already been called a bloody man just for no reason.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. I tell you, for the stitching pattern on my gym leggings, is that a cock? No, it's clearly not, you idiot. But yeah, there are strange people out there staring at our crotches at all times, it turns out. Bo Cashman made it, just got off work, wanted to say hello. Hello, Bo.
Hey, buddy.
Nice to say. Dearie me.
Let's try and get caught up because it's getting late now.
It is getting late, and I've got some prep to do for a video that we're filming tomorrow.
There we go.
Okay. Oh, we're pretty much caught up. There we go. Right, lovely. Okay, we are going to log off then, guys. Thank you so much for everyone for joining us.
We've got everyone.
Yeah, no, I'm all over it. Quick, Lizzie, before some more come through.
Right, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's really fun chatting to you. It's been a fun one answering the questions. Had over 700 people for the most part on the live, nice. So that's really cool. Have an amazing week. We do have a few videos this week. You got planned?
We've got a few fun videos planned this week, and then obviously
we're
the week after we've got Birmingham World
Yes,
Open.
We've got a lot coming up, haven't we? So we've got Birmingham, we've got Auntie Liz's competition, which we should point out.
Disaster.
It's going to be fun.
Funny.
We're off to New York for an arm wrestling event.
Oh, yeah.
You're excited about that, aren't you?
Yes.
Then we're off to Vegas, and then we're going to Scotland for the World Tour Finals. We've got Scotland again for Rogue Invitational. We've got Iceland for the Magnuson Classic. There is lots to look forward to.
Oh, nice.
Hope you guys have an amazing week. I'm going to keep training hard. Don't know if I'm going to compete in anything, but I'm just going to keep training hard. Liz is going to keep training and do her comp, and then hopefully keep training after that.
Yes, that's the plan. Yeah.
Take care, guys. We'll catch you soon.
Smile and wave. Do it.